Stuart Taft here with a White Fox winter update. Now here's the deal, in case you didn't realise, we've firmly established ourselves in our HQ position here in Toorak, but I can announce that our Stonington team have now joined this iconic position. Of course, we moved here not long ago, corner of Mathura and Toorak Road, into this incredible Art Deco building, but we thought it would be best to have both teams in here, given it seems silly having an office at either end of Mathura Road. And now they're here, and Toorak Village is absolutely bustling. It's being developed. There's new hospitality venues, there's street works going on. This part of town is booming. So we're very excited to welcome the Stonington team here and really establish ourselves in the premium suburb of Melbourne. But of course, there's a lot going on here at White Fox. I know there's lots of talk about what's happening out in the market. We've got over 100 listings at the moment, but I thought we'd highlight a few of what is going on in our individual offices. So let's get to it. Of course, Mike Torcasio, Jesse Jones, Nathan Verwert and Beck Brew are going to be in this office working away. They've made themselves home in this office. There's a bit of a sandwich club going on as well. I'll talk about that later. But why don't we start here with the listings at the moment. So 7 Plant Street, Malvern, that has just gone live. It's a double front of Victorian, a great family house, a beautiful floor plan. That's going to sell really well. Then there's 6 Balmoral Place, in case you missed it. Nathan with the beautiful Range Rover in the front with his turtleneck, of course. That is right next to Param Market. If you're a market aficionado, you cannot find a better position. It's got parking at the front as well, which is very rare in those spots. So that's a great one. Then there's 8 at 43 Wilson Street. Now this is a full floor sub penthouse. It's very, very rare to find this kind of configuration. And in case you missed it, the lift to this sub penthouse opens up straight into the apartment. Now how good is that? That is as private as it gets. Then there's 5 at 119 Alexandra Avenue in South Yarra. That's gone live last week. On the river, floor to ceiling glass, huge terrace. And it's a very exciting one, and you've got to keep your eye out for that. And then there's 1 at 40 Caroline Street. Now that's up the top of Toorak Road. I'm sure a lot of you know that position. It's in the heart of the action on a Friday night. People are going to Francois. It is literally behind Bar Carolina. If that's the sort of place you like to have a little knock-off drink on a Friday, it's behind the venue. That is a great one to keep an eye out for. Then there's the things that are coming onto the market for spring. We know spring's coming, and that's when historically people want to put their houses on the market. We've got some pretty exciting ones in the Stonington area. We've got 1 Elm Place in Windsor. Jesse Jones has reliably told me it's one of his favourite houses he's put to market. It's a double-storey Victorian brick, beautiful. And I think Jesse might have liked it more back when he was going to hoo-ha back in the day. But Mr. Miyagi at the end of the street, Tokyo Tina, you are in the heart of the Chapel Street action there with Elm Place. 29 Murray Street, Param. We've sold some Murray Street houses before. We know what an iconic location that is, right next to Victoria Gardens. You've got the Flying Duck Hotel, which Marty's just told me, by the way, they do free kids dinners Monday to Friday. So get down there if you want to have a dinner during the week at a great pub. Kids eat free. So that's 29 Murray Street, Param, single fronter, and that's coming soon. And then there's 2 approved development sites. This is actually a really exciting opportunity just behind Hawkesburn Village, so just tucked in behind Baker Blue and Officine Zero and whatnot. And they're circa about 3 milli. They're going to be ones to look out for. Can't say too much yet. Very exciting. And lastly, 74 Hawkesburn Road in South Yarra, another rare opportunity, and it comes with plans to build a single dwelling. So that's what's happening in Stonington. We've welcomed you. You guys feeling welcome? Look how relaxed Mike is in the background. He loves the sun, the big New Zealander. Look at him there, lapping up the sunshine. But that's what's happening at the moment at HQ. Let's move on now to Port Phillip. Now, Port Phillip's been a hive of activity. Peter Zervis, our sales director of the Port Phillip office, is currently sunning himself on the beaches of Greece. But before he left, he was very, very busy, so he deserves a break. And he'll be all tan and ready to go for spring, so don't worry about that. And our chairman, Graham Wilson, as well, over in Europe, keeping us up to date on how the Pinot is growing. In the meantime, though, Shaney Fox, Shane Seamers, Imogen and the team have been working very, very hard, making sure everything is going well in the Port Phillip region. And let me tell you, there's some exciting opportunities there. 21 Park Road in Middle Park. Now that was Domain's House of the Week, front page of Domain. You've got to check that out. It's kind of quirky. It's got that beautiful standout yellow staircase. It's catching a lot of attention. So that one's an interesting one. Then there's 51 Bridge Street in Port Melbourne, single fronted. It's a cute little thing. It's got a bright blue front door which catches the eye as you walk up to it. It's your perfect kind of first house, your first entry house if you want to live in that area. Great open plan living. You can literally hit a cricket ball from the front door and you're on Bay Street. So what a position that is. 249 Princess Street in Port Melbourne as well. Great buying for a savvy purchaser if you're looking in that market. And then 261 Bridge Street as well is 300 square metres of premium Port Melbourne living. So there's lots going on in the Port Melbourne area. Moving to Albert Park, which we know at the moment has actually a lack of stock. So it's great that we've got some fantastic properties there. 31 Richardson Street. If you speak to anyone who lives in that area, they say Richardson Street is, if not the best, one of the best streets in Albert Park. It's always got great capital growth, great clearance rate, so that one should go really, really well. That's 31 Richardson. 356 Howe Parade, a house we've sold before. We've had a few repeat listings recently. We actually sold it only in May of last year. So they've turned that one around, but we know it sells well. It's a great house. 6 at 358 Beaconsfield Parade, renovated apartment, incredible views. It's down the Fitzroy Street end of Beaconsfield. Shaney's actually sold 5 in this building. So we do think there's potentially going to be a plaque put out the front, the Shaney Fox historic landmark building, if she sells this one. But let me tell you, looking out over Catani Gardens, you've got the St Kilda Yacht Squadron there, Circa, all that sort of stuff. Great spot. Coming up soon to the Crescent in Port Melbourne. That's coming in spring and off market at the moment. And then 2 at 24 Willemsby Avenue in Brighton. I know it's in Brighton, but Shaney's selling that one, a Bayside home. So you can check that out. Another repeat. So 25 Little Lyle. Pete Zervis actually sold this last year, and the woman did a renovation and now she wants to sell it. She found her perfect house. So we've put that one back on the market. That's a really special little quirky one as well. And then 206 38 Bank Street in South Melbourne. That's just a Peter Zervis special. He loves those ones. So I might stop there because there's plenty more in the Port Melbourne market, but they've all been on a listing rampage over there. But we'll move in here. This is where Marty normally is. He's off doing some work, but he's been busy. We know he's starting the block soon as well, so you've got to keep an eye out for that. There's plenty happening. But we'll head to Bayside now. It's been a hive of activity with our sales director, Lana Samuels. She's been leading the charge. Of course, if you saw the video we put up recently, Mike Martin's been pumping out coffees for everyone in the area to keep them charged. There's been some great auction results in the Bayside. We sold 19 Aluka Street in Black Rock, 3B Louise Street in Brighton East, and 1 Adamson Street in Brighton as well, with Owen Bowditch there, showing that like auctions, there's a bit of uncertainty in the market. When it comes to auctions, there is transparency in the competitive market and they're still selling. So if you're thinking about what to do in terms of how to take your house to market, auction, we think, is the way to go. But some of the current stock at the moment in Bayside, which is ready to view, 39 Marlborough Street, Balaclava. Jesse Rayburn's got this one. I lived in Balaclava for many years. What an amazing spot this is. This has been designed by architectural genius Travis Walton, incredible architect, and it's literally on the cusp of Carlisle Street shops there. And we know that Saul's has just moved in. You've got the iconic wall, Las Chicas. What a great spot. 25B Dunoon Court in Brighton East. That's the second most viewed property online. It's really caught the attention of a lot of people. You've got to go and check it out. That is an amazing property. 18B Albert Street, Caulfield North. That's designed by Carabot Holt, architects there, and that's primo. And then 4 at 12 Black Street in Brighton. Now, we sold number 3 earlier in this year. There's only a couple left, and this is one of Melbourne's best developers, trust me, behind this incredibly detailed and luxurious project right around the corner from our office. But Black Street is a very, very prime position when it comes to that Brighton location. Coming on shortly, we've got 21A Bright Street in Brighton East. Marty went to school with the owner, so you can drop that when you walk in if you want to go to the open for inspection. 9 Wave Street, Elwood, another spot which we know is really close to those Elwood shops, a stone's throw away from the Elwood villages, so that's really, really good, near Tennyson and Ormond Road. And then 1 at 35 Byron Street in Elwood. Jesse Rayburn, he loves those Elwood specials, so get in touch with him if you want to have a look. But it's an Art Deco block and it will go off like a cracker, let me assure you of that. And finally, one of the Wick's best streets, it is 734 Elizabeth Street in Elstonwick. What a fantastic location that one is. So Bayside, very busy, lots going on there, and an exciting time. I thought I might move and finish off in the window though, as the sun streams into this Toorak. You can see why we were attracted to this Art Deco building. Before I finish, I want to quickly touch on what's happening over the ditch, because it does matter to Australian viewers. Of course, our New Zealand teams have hit the ground running this year. We only opened earlier in the year, led by Kate Fairmaid down in Queenstown. We've actually added 2 new team members to that team. We've got Sarah Clue, who has spent a long time in real estate and then worked in development with her husband, who's got Gibb Building in Wanaka. So she's joined our team to work in that Wanaka market. Very experienced, very just a really good person and fantastic operator. So Kate's very excited to have her on the team. And then Julie White, who's originally from Tauranga. She's moved down to Queenstown. We're really excited for her to join the team as well. And there's a lot happening in Queenstown. Matt Sampson just sold a property in Jacks Point. Anyone out there who plays golf knows Jacks Point, but what a spot in Queensland. You've got the Remarkables, you've got the beautiful lake. It's just phenomenal, Lake Wakatipu. And he's just sold Rabbiters Drive, over $3 million, and most of the inquiries were Australians. So there's lots of opportunity over there. Matt's working away at that. We're very excited. And Kate and Sarah have got a new listing two new listings in Wanaka, I should say. One is the Lodges, which is the new development, which has come online in the last week, and it's phenomenal. 2 units next to each other overlooking the Wanaka Lake there and a few minutes from the town, and another one at Mount Ida Place. So they're going online. Make sure you check them out. In Auckland, we've added Ryan Teest to the team, so welcome to Ryan. And he's joining Ruben Payne and Freddie Robertson and Brittany Butler up there. And there's so much going on. They're out there constantly working it and finding some great opportunities for our clients. And of course, Mahanui Drive and Grace Hill have certainly turned heads in the last little bit. So well done to our New Zealand team, who are very new and very fresh, but have really hit the ground running. The last few points I want to make about what's going on here at White Fox. Advocacy, they're in the building. So Martin Fox Senior and Kit Ho, they sort of split their time between here and South Melbourne. But it's a tricky period. We know that. A lot of people they've moved from fear of missing out to fear of making a mistake in this market. Do I buy? Do I bid? We know lots of people are going through homes and attending open homes, but they're not bidding on auction day. Well, if you're worried about what to do or how to bid or whether you should purchase, maybe it's worthwhile having a conversation with an advocate, because that is what they specialise in. They specialise in giving you great advice, doing all the due diligence, providing competitive market analysis, and then helping you through that process. And yes, you might think it's an outlay of finance to start with, but that's the point. They will save you in the long run, maybe get you a better deal, get an off-market deal. It is worth having a conversation with our team. If you don't know what advocacy is, do reach out. Martin and Kit are fantastic, and they can help you find that dream home. As I mentioned before, auctions still providing great results. So head to auctions, see what's going on, feel the lay of the land. But if you're thinking about putting your house to market, an auction is a really good way to go. And don't be scared to get your house on the market early, right? We know spring's coming. Everyone's going to put their house on market in spring. If you're thinking of doing it, maybe act now. It could be the right time to then avoid being in competition with other houses. And if you're putting it on, you don't want your days in market to be too much, but it's going to put downward pressure on the pricing where the supply meets the demand. So just think about when you put your house on market, because if buyers have that choice, they will naturally look around and your house will be left to sit on the market for longer than it should. And of course, for all our current clients and purchasers, we look forward to sharing a couple of White Fox above reserve lagers with you as we celebrate what is a beautiful winter, let's be honest. It's feeling really unseasonable with this lovely weather coming up as we sit inside our brand new HQ here in the heart of Toorak. That's it for our winter update for the moment. Happy selling to you if you're selling your house. Good luck if you are purchasing. Either way, we'd love to hear from you. We'll see you soon in the Fox's Den. Early for a beer.